7, Michael, and we're gonna get controversial today. We're gonna talk about some things. So if you like have issues, oh well, you're gonna be mad right about now.
Issues, so.
We've got Ranger.
Hi.
Yo, Ranger gives the best face.
She does.
She is like, I'm giving you props. She is so pretty. And her face, her skin is so flawless.
And this cheekbones too.
You know what I mean? And it's so funny because she goes into these moments where she just kind of like, I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna let y'all talk.
I like to observe.
I'm gonna let y'all talk all the foolishness you want.
He's trying to get us fired.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm not saying a word on this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm pleading the fifth.
Playing the 4-5-5th.
The
And then
4-5.
we've got Sensei Vegan gonna plead the 4-5-5th. And of course, we've got far, far from a land far, far away, CC, the Greek geek.
All the way.
All right, so let's jump into it. That was a really long introduction. Basically, we're going to talk about dating within the geek culture. Now, not talking about nerd culture, the geek culture. We're talking about people that really go into video games to like that extra level where they're home every day playing, and part of playing video games become part of the romantic. It becomes part of the bonding or the sharing. Maybe they're not used to it, and you kind of like, hey, this is my world. Jump into it, and
Right.
people jump into it for the relationship. Sometimes they like it, and sometimes they're like, I'll deal with it.
So just go with it.
And so
Oh, we
cosplay,
can do that.
cosplay is very interesting. Watching how that dating culture works.
Yeah.
Comic books is interesting. I think that cosplay and video games are kind of hardcore.
Yeah.
Where like you can't really date someone unless they're into it also. Is that true, not true, or?
You want to go first? You want me to go
Go.
first?
You go first.
Take it away.
All right, coming from a hard gamer like myself, hardcore gamer.
Right.
I think. Well, I'm married, so my wife, she's a good gamer. She's good. She probably whooped a whole lot of your asses. I'm sorry, a whole lot of your butts on there. Anyway, Call of Duty.
Shout out to D.
Shout out to Grandma. That's your gamer tag. She probably whooped you guys up. But anyway, it makes it a lot easier that she likes games. Because
Right.
I know if I was married to or dating someone that didn't like video games,
Yeah.
Right.
I know I would come home with either a broken console,
Right.
or it'd be on a sidewalk,
Wow.
or my games would be out there for a
It'd be the
yard
first
sale.
thing to
Yeah,
go when
yeah,
you do something wrong.
yeah. You know, yeah. So it's like I think having that in common makes it a whole lot easier than if you're going to date someone and marry someone that they don't like it, because it's going to be a problem down the road. It might not start out as a problem,
Right.
but eventually, yep, it's going to be a rock and a shoe.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even if they can't at least appreciate the fact that that's what you love and that's
Right.
like, you know, what makes you, you know, tick, so to speak, then they're just going to look at it as a bad habit, you know, or something frivolous that you're wasting your resources on, be it
Right.
time, money,
true.
or anything otherwise. And they're
You
not
mean when
gonna-
like you're owning like 10 consoles?
right.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? And they don't understand that you're a collector, you know, so it is kind of hard. And for me, it's like, as a cosplayer, you don't necessarily have to like cosplay, but at least be into something, you know,
Right.
whether it's a comic or anime,
Sci-fi.
Or support
something
you
like
like
something.
that.
Yeah, be
Yeah.
supportive.
But how would you give the advice to support? Like, do they have to watch the the anime movies with you? Do they have to know the characters?
At least, like, go to the con with them.
Or entertain as much of it as you can
Yeah.
digest, you know, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah.
Just like when Ashley came with us to BurrowCon, she didn't really know what to expect, you know, but she like really tapped into where her interests lied and where the overlap was, and she thoroughly enjoyed herself. So, you know, and she didn't dress up.
Right.
And people were still complimenting her outfit
Right.
because
Her
it was
backpack.
eclectic and it was, you know, her unique sense of style. So, I think that the best thing is to like try it out and see how they kind of react.
Do
And then
they
if it's,
have
like,
to cosplay
totally,
with
like-
you?
No. Dude, even if, let's just say I'm not into comic books at all, right? I'm not, but I am. But if I'm not, and my wife or girlfriend was into that type of stuff,
Right.
I'd be like, hey, if that's what you like to do, you go ahead and you do it. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna, oh, that's for kids, and I don't know why you waste all your time. No, if that's what you like to do, you go ahead and you do it.
Right.
But the hardest part is, I think, especially as a woman, if you don't have a guy who cosplays, he has to be like really secure and trusting you.
Oh, yeah.
Because like some of the comments alone that you'll get in your social media, it's like, okay, it's they often ride the line between compliment and creepy.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you have to have somebody.
Yes, they do.
Wow, you said that really quick, Ranger. What happened to you?
No, I just seen stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen things.
Are you sure about that, Ranger?
You saw about that?
And
So-
as I told you, I got harassed in my first con experience.
At your first?
But how do you know? How do you know from the other side of it? Because some people are a geek for cosplayers / stalkers for cosplayers, where it's about the characters that you're playing and
they
not
don't
really
see
you.
you as
Like
a
a
human
fetish
underneath,
almost.
right? They just see you as a shell or an imitation of that character or personification.
How do
of
you separate that? Like, how do you say you're real, you're not real, or like how do you?
Like, how do I do it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just gotta. I mean, part of that is just empathy and having a human connection. And I think that kind of goes back to like how you're raised as a small child. To be quite honest with you, if you can't bond and connect, especially with certain people because of how they look, like you can't bond with the opposite sex, or you can't bond with people who are darker than you, or whatever the case may be. You kind of have to like have that moral compass.
Hungarian drug lords, like
Right, exactly.
Right.
So it's you have to be able to see the human and realize that it's just makeup. And people do it to celebrities more so because they're not seeing them face to face.
Right.
Like even actors or actors.
But yeah, it's like they treat them like they're not even human.
Right.
It makes absolutely no sense. Sometimes you meet some of these actors and actresses that are not so nice.
No.
They're not. I'm just being honest. They're
Or
people.
you meet them and they're very like human,
down to earth,
real cool, goofy,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like
But they hire handlers that are like extra,
Yeah. But
so they could be mean for them.
Right, but given the crazy creeper stalkers that are out in this world, I can't say I blame them. Like, I would need an attack dog too. So
You know what? You're the one selling your signature. No, let me stop. I'm just messing.
Can I do that? No.
Put on pump.
But
Something.
eventually you'll run into the person you're supposed to run into. I mean, the vibe you put out is the vibe you're going to get back. So
Definitely.
if you try to force it, you're not going to find anything.
Yeah.
So.
And even with me, it's like, as much as you shouldn't have this whole slut shaming thing, like I'm very precarious about the way I carry myself, even in cosplay, primarily because, of my membership in Delta and the responsibility that entails. But even then, I still find myself being hypersexualized on social media. And it's really annoying at best, and it's kind of like disheartening at worst because I'm doing this to empower myself and women who are like myself, but they're taking it and dumbing it down.
Yeah, but you don't even have sexualized
Exactly.
cosplay.
Yeah.
No, but
I wound up in a Facebook group, and it was like an after dark group. But most of the stuff that they post is like fairly harmless, like generic relationship questions.
Right.
But one time, someone posted a meme, and it was like, who in this group do you want to have sex with? And not in those words. And one person commented my name and someone else's. And I was like mortified. Like I'm like, first of all, if the attraction was mutual, which it wasn't, like
Wow.
now even if it was like a mutual physical attraction, now I'm automatically turned off because you're the type of dude that likes to run his mouth. You know what I mean?
learn that, guys.
So wait a minute.
Remember
So
that.
if he kept it quiet and he was attractive, it'd be a whole nother thing.
There's a big difference between being private and being secretive. Like that's my whole thing. Like you can't be. Right, exactly. Like you shouldn't be hiding. And those are
Thank you,
usually
John.
the ones who aren't private are the ones who like go run and tell everything that they do, but
Right.
then they don't want to claim you. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So like nah.
So as long as he is quiet,
Wow.
wait, I got a list. As long as he's quiet and claims you.
Quiet in terms of your private like business and your pillow
Right,
talk and all that.
yeah.
But you gotta be
Bang, bang, bang.
communicative.
Yeah,
Right.
and yeah, then you're good.
Right.
Ah,
I
that's
mean, that's
you're
get
not
through-
that
it gets
difficult.
through door number 1, basically.
Door number
you pass
one.
the first test.
right.
Can I
Litmus
say
test.
something, please?
Yeah.
Let me just sum this up for you guys. Look right here. Number
Hold on,
one.
hold on.
Happily married
We're
man
gonna
talking.
let's get a nice little close up.
Get
Here
my
we go.
good.
Go.
Ready?
Guys, if you get with a woman, keep your mouth shut. Whatever happens between you and that woman is between you and the woman.
Thank
Don't be telling your boys, your crew, keep your mouth shut. Remember that.
Yeah.
Don't get
Right.
keep your mouth shut. Okay, that's how it goes, man. That's between you and your woman or the girl you're with. You don't have to blab all your mouth, all your
Right.
business to everybody.
And if it's several people involved, all several of you,
Keep your mouth.
shut.
You just got always taking the polygamous route.
He is jumping over the line.
This is what a hotep looks like.
CC, oh my goodness, you're too funny.
He knows
Yeah, man. be
I
quiet.
am not letting the fans down. This is what I do.
That's your job.
This is entertaining. That much is for sure.
That's
Man.
entertainment. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. So, yeah, so I do think the cosplay culture is very interesting because it's so small.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is.
It
kinda
is,
hard.
but it isn't.
Yeah, but you know what? The Black Greek culture is the same way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the large Divine Nine, it's only 1 million of us worldwide, so that's even small. You know, so they are small. It's kind of like school almost.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, you could always, but my thing to that is you could always date people that go to other schools. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the people that, well,
But even still, the stuff is like you'd be surprised how small, especially in the fraternities and sororities. It's like, yo, like I have probably like 3 or 4 mutual soror friends who know a soror that I've never met before. You know what I mean? So like it's that small.
so you definitely dated other people's exes or their new boyfriends or husbands or friends and you didn't know about it.
Obviously, I've dated somebody's ex. I mean, yeah, I've dated men who were like in a fraternity who had dated women in other sororities, you know, prior to. I can't say I ever dated a man who had dated a Delta before. Well, maybe one, but it wasn't like, from my understanding, it was never that serious. But yeah, it's like we check, like, for at least for me, it was like, all right, what's your track record? And what's the degrees of separation? Like, is it my lines? You know, like, is it my dean? Like, who is it? Like, is it 2 chapters removed? Because I could deal with that. You know.
Now, Charles, I know you're spoken for whatever, but in the past or even observation, do you feel that that's the same 6-degree separation within the comic book creators and stuff too? As far as dating and stuff, or no, you don't really see that in that
I
world?
don't. Well, for me, I don't think it would be a deal breaker if I was who I am now, writing comics, publishing, all that, and the person I was with wasn't into it. As long as they respected what I did, that's fine. But if it's going to be, you know, to the point where, why do you do this? You know why I do it.
But is it a small community with even that those individuals tend to date each other also, or no?
I think it's so small that you would have to go outside. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Your chances.
Or do people mostly come into it already with someone?
Well, even on my level, like with D was into graphic design. She's an artist. Okay,
so
me,
there's overlap.
it was so it wasn't even like, I don't even think she knew I was into comics and stuff. You know what I mean? It was just like, she's an artist. I was
Right.
into, but she didn't know what the heck I was about.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So it was
Right.
kind of, oh, you're into this, you're into, oh yeah,
But
yeah.
she
so that's
still
all.
appreciates the artist.
Yeah, she does. She goes to the cons.
Biochemistry.
No, yeah, we're not like on different sides of the spectrum.
Right,
Heck
right,
no,
right.
we're very similar.
But even then, you could still be into it.
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I can see what you're
But
saying.
I do think you have to have that respect level, or you're definitely going to run into some issues down the road.
Definitely.
So if it's just like, okay, this is kind of going the opposite side. If you're dating someone that's vegan and someone that's
like
eats
straight
meat,
carnivore.
yeah.
Okay.
If they don't have an understanding with each other, you're gonna just
Yeah.
be butting heads
Right.
constantly. You understand what I mean?
yeah.
And I'm not saying that if I was a plant-based eater would I only date vegan women?
Right.
No, because I probably wouldn't have anyone to date.
Right.
There's only like 2% of the population is vegan or plant-based. You know
But
what I
you
mean?
bring
So
them to the other side, though.
I would just say, yeah, come. To the other side.
He got a seductive voice.
Yeah, come to the other side.
Come on.
But no, I mean, you wouldn't date anybody. If you're like, I'm only going to date vegan women. Well,
Yeah.
okay, then I'd be dating myself because there aren't a whole lot of vegan women or plant-based women. So you have to be open-minded.
Right.
Now, if there are any vegan women that, no, there's a bunch of us and we're single, come on. Then write some comments and we'll try to hook you up with other veganites.
I know some.
Veganmeat.com.
Nah. Well, what about you?
You're coming up with some good ideas. I'm
Write
writing these
that
down. I think you do have a site like that, though.
So, Ranger, from your experience within the whole, I would say the anime world,
Yes.
do you find that it's a small community dating each other too, or no? Or
I do think it's larger.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of anime out there that
Yes.
are mainstream,
Yes.
like, and a lot of people resonate with. So
Yeah.
it is a bigger pool on like cosplay and
Especially in
Yeah.
our generation. Because
Yeah.
we were like the Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z generation, where like, and Pokemon, where anime was
Yeah.
like huge and everybody watched it to some
Yeah.
level or another.
But I know a lot of people, even people from high school, who watch
Yeah.
anime. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Or at least seen a few episodes and are familiar
so how do
with
you
the show.
how do you deal with it, or seen other people within that community deal with it,
Deal with.
as far as dating and?
Oh, it's like, how do I word it? I don't want to say simple because dating is difficult.
Right.
But it's
It's
not
both.
hard to find a date and have like that mesh of like anime and
Is it equal with attraction? I was like, oh, you like that? I like that. Yo, let's hang out. Is it
see,
more?
that's what I've always had. Like we've always like found like
Wow.
anime that we both liked, or even if it's a series that we disagreed on, we just like talk about our disagreements.
Okay.
Like
That's
so I
cool.
don't really have a problem.
Because you have an appreciation for the
Yeah,
genre as a
exactly.
whole.
Exactly.
I honestly
Wow.
think that the harder part is not necessarily
confused.
finding someone that you're into, but finding someone who's into just the right amount of things that you're into.
There you
Like
go.
for me, I'm
Yeah.
a very
Perfect.
well-rounded person, so I could find a guy who likes comics, and I could find a guy who likes sports. But it's hard to find a guy who likes both.
Yeah.
And it like I say that because like it's kind of a tradition in a lot of geek cultures that we like shun sports, and it
See, I'm
like
the
or we
complete
just don't
opposite.
talk about it unless it's like your close inner circle of friends.
Right.
Yeah, see, I'm-
Nobody talks about like football or playing drafts and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
See, that's my thing with me. I can talk the whole Spider-Man, Marvel, DC, Image, all that stuff. Then I can go get my darn snowboard and go shred it up down a mountain.
True.
Yeah.
You understand? So I can split.
But
a
even
whole
that's
bunch
a
of-
little different.
It is
Because
Yeah,
that's a singular expression rather than a
Right.
team sport.
Right.
And then also we've been also socialized so much.
No.
That individuals there are competitions and stuff, but I mean
Right.
like your ability to do tricks and do stuff is more on you than like a team, no? Totally no? Oh, okay.
No, and I'll tell you why.
Educate me, sensei.
I started out snowboarding first.
Okay.
Then I went home talking about it with my wife. She's like, ah. First she wasn't even winning person. No, I'm not doing this. I don't want to get cold. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be cold. You're not gonna be cold. I'm telling you. She tried it, and she got very, very good.
Wow.
So when I'm flying down off a mountain, 30, 40 miles an hour, and I look
she
back,
come.
my wife was right behind me doing the same exact
Nice.
thing.
Yeah,
same
but you know what?
exact thing.
I view people that skateboard and that also do snowboarding. They're geeks. They're not jocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really fall into
See,
the
I can
jock.
slide
It
either
depends
way.
on what you do, and even with football players, like I knew several football players who were secretly geeks, but as they got older, felt like they had to suppress that geek.
She hit it.
With me in the Black geek community.
You said it.
Black Greek community. I'm sorry, I felt like I had to suppress my geekness.
You do.
Which was
It is what it
ironic.
is.
See,
You
you
gotta
said it.
pick a
Which
side of
is
the fence.
ironic
No.
because being a nerd is like a premise of being a member. Like you have to have great, even though we know that nerd and geek aren't the
Right.
two different
Right.
things, but there's so much overlap that it's like, why wouldn't you expect me to be a geek?
That's the truth.
know?
You hit it. Now it's more acceptable. Before, people wouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
People wouldn't say, let's say you get a big old football player, man, you
Right.
like comic books? No, man, I'm not
Right,
into that
right,
stuff.
right.
All of a sudden now, everybody's into that
Right.
stuff. Everybody's into
Has
it.
that affected dating, you think?
As far as what?
Because it seems that most of the boundaries and lines are all kind of blurred. Has that affect dating within those? And answer separately. Try to keep it specifically to the interests that we spoke about.
as
Comic
far-
books,
geeks.
in cosplay, and anime. Just to narrow it.
I think people hook up in cons all the time. It's just gotten a lot more mainstream now, so the pool is larger. But even when I was in like high school and freshman in college, like my friends who did go to cons, they were like, oh yeah, they, comics, and then they have one big orgy, like that's what it's just the tradition. Like,
Where is this at?
at every con ever.
Where?
Every con ever.
Wow, where have I been? What cons have
Well,
I
in
been to?
particular,
Orgy
the,
con.
like super large ones, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Where there's like hordes and hordes of people.
Because
New
I
York
feel
Comic Con, hello.
Right?
True.
Oh, I forgot it.
Right,
I'm
Con.
covering it, and I come back, and I'm editing while
Exactly.
everyone. Oh,
You need
that's
to
what it
edit
is.
I think-
Tuesday.
You gotta edit the week after.
Wingman gotta come out on Saturday.
That's funny. Well, you know what? If that's the case, and the pool's getting bigger, now we have something very interesting in the mix. We have a lot of
Perps.
fake
Posers.
A
Yeah.
lot of posers in this.
We said
situation.
that before. It's a
Yeah, we
lot of
did.
posers.
So
And the sad thing about it is
Yep.
that unlike the Greek organizations, there's
Yeah,
no
but
like
skaters, that's
incorporated.
different.
Well, no, not skaters. There are people who are flat out perpetrating as members, and they never even were online, dude.
oh wow, that's
And-
true because you could find all their
Yeah, and it's
the
like,
secret stuff online, so you can fake.
Yeah,
Right.
well, not even that, but it's different for us because we're actual incorporated organizations. So
Right.
there's ways that we can go and check and be like, this person's not who
Wow.
they say they are. Where with them, it's like it's like a litmus test, and it's very highly subjective, and
Right.
it's messed up because people who are truly geek and are still like learning as they
Right.
go along, like I am, are often like siloed and told that they're not geek enough. Where you have people who aren't really into it, but
Right.
they can finagle it enough that they can pull it off.
Right.
Right. They
Even
can,
if they come out and say, I don't like this, and then they wound up going out and doing
like,
it.
I'm not trying to throw anyone underneath the bus, but I am trying to throw someone underneath the bus. But don't listen to me throwing someone, but I am throwing someone. So, a particular young lady, which we will not mention,
I had nothing
it's
to do with it.
interesting because it's like, like the individual, like I'm into old school games, and as a musician, I had to. Charles, you can attest to this. Do I buy guitars? Do I buy amps? Do I buy keyboards? Or do I buy video games? So I chose to get more into instruments.
Gotcha.
So I stopped playing to the point today. The only reason why I don't have a game system is because I can't, it's
hard
money,
to
it's
buy.
bread, right? So the thing is, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say Halo, this, all these other games. 'Cause I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I ask a lot of questions, okay? But it is what it is. I stay in my lane, right?
Right.
But it's interesting how some people will buy that one game they play with a friend and
Exactly.
be like, yeah, I'm a gamer. And they have
Yeah.
the t-shirts, I'm a gamer life and all. And you're like, really?
Gamer life.
That's bull crap. I can contest to that. You know me and my whole love-hate relationship with Call of Duty. You get these wannabe gamers. They have one Call of Duty game. And give me a freaking break. You're not You're not no gamer.
You're not
man.
a gamer till you don't have a console and you go to Best Buy and play
Just to
video
play.
games.
Yeah.
That's a
As Duper
gamer.
did when
Yeah,
they
remember?
They gave him
Yeah.
that PS4.
Yep.
All he did was play video games.
He would
in the
go
store
in there and
all
play
day.
it in
They
the
were
store.
Like, please go.
Yeah.
Well, you're not a gamer if you only know one system. Even I could break down several systems in the history of video
Right.
games.
Yeah,
Right.
I can do that too.
So,
but it's
like-
same with the
And Charles,
whole.
we did a whole episode.
We did that. We
Talk
did
about
that.
like if I say Pong and you don't know what that is, if I say Coleco game,
You don't know what that
Atari
is.
2600,
Right.
1800,
Right.
if I say Super this, that, like, Nintendo,
First of all, you
Game
don't know
Boy,
what Atari is. It's like,
You're in trouble.
you're like,
I
you
know
know,
what Atari is. Like, come
you know
on.
what I
in
mean?
trouble.
But a lot
My
don't.
mom knows what Atari is.
They think there's like a new breed that thinks everything is either Sony or
Microsoft.
it's Microsoft and
Nah,
that's
it's
it.
not,
Xbox
not
and that's
even
it.
true, man. It's not even true. That's the same thing with all the comic book movies going on. People see
Yeah.
one movie and all of a sudden now they're the They're the pros. They're the,
Yeah.
they're
But
the
until you
king,
do the
king and
historical-
queen geek.
Yeah,
Right,
you
right.
can't claim it an expert until you have the historical context.
I
You
saw
just can't.
every X-Men. I know
Right.
everything about X-Men.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
right,
Okay.
No, you don't.
Okay, calm down.
Read.
Take a seat.
No.
I mean, actually, that's funny. We joked about like with Wonder Woman. Yeah, man. What's up when they're gonna add the jet? Now, if you don't know what we talk about,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Right.
you don't know.
You're
you know,
in trouble.
You're in
For
trouble.
real.
It's legit.
Watching Super Friends, and you see Wonder Woman just like gets gone through the air, right? Just
Is she using the batteries?
It's
Well, that was funny
interesting.
on Family Guy.
Yeah.
too. She was
Oh
amazing.
man.
That was the worst.
yeah.
But I mean, it's something we always. One thing I have to say that's really good about Family Guy is that
Invisible
they
jet.
always talk about everything that we've always talked about.
Uh-huh.
They just put it on TV.
Yeah, they put it out
Yeah.
there. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. Comics, race, like
So-
nothing.
So what's the recap? Basically, you're gonna like what you like. Don't throw it down people's throat.
can't.
Right.
You know,
Love is
but
love.
share it. And there are other people that like what you like. You don't have to necessarily look for a specific color
Right.
or height
There's
or
no
weight.
typecast to
Right.
what you're looking for.
Yeah.
There
Just be
isn't.
open.
As long as you can
Yeah.
get a respectful person. Another thing too, you don't want someone that's too much like you, or it's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. So you just want someone that's gonna respect what you do and
Yeah.
leave
And
it
you
at that.
owe it to
man.
yourself and your potential partner to consider any and everyone who might be a fit for
Right.
you. Like, I don't want to be with somebody because I was the top light-skinned black woman pick. Like, I want to be your top pick, period. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's kind of
Remember
like where
that.
I'm at
Right.
on that.
And you be able to learn from each other too. Like,
Definitely.
even if you're like two different people do two different things.
Right.
Don't be afraid to just learn.
And most of all, what we learn is super important. If you're going to kick it to Cece, you gotta be respectful. You have to be secretive.
Yeah.
have to be. I said
You have to not put all the
Not
business in the
secretive.
street. And you have to leave really nice comments.
I didn't say secret.
And most of all,
Got to be able to cook.
Pander to me.
respect her cosplay gangster and don't get in her way because she's gonna do what she need to do.
I cook, y'all. I do cook.
Thank you very much, Ranger.
Yay, Ranger.
Sensei Vegan.
I tried to behave myself on this
You
episode.
did. You did a
Ranger,
really good
you
job.
gotta have a serious jawline because Ranger gives face.
Shout out to D. I gotta say, D, you did a really good job with
Yes.
Sensei Vegan.
What do you mean she did a good job on this? I'm coming home. You want some cake?
And CC the Greek Geek.
Yes. Always.
Oh,
Always
man.
every time.
And I'm Michael, 7 Michael, and you're watching Eclecticka, the #1 place for everything geek. And yes, we do have a safe space for the nerds as well. Come on, everything sci-fi, fantasy, cosplay, video games, and of course animation
We're here.
and technology and sometimes social issues. But you know, it is what it is. We love you. Thank you so much. And
Yo,
please, check us out next time. All right.
All right.
Package.
Watch out now, young fella.
Full geek package.
You be good on the